always sanitize everything, and always remember you want to be safe rather than sorry. If you're safe, you wasted a couple minutes. If you're sorry, you wasted 5 gallons of beer. Alright, I'm getting near the end, so I am trying to tilt this so I can get the most beer possible. When I'm tilting it gently because I want to suck up the least amount of sediment possible. You can see there's a lot of sediment on the bottom there. Home brews will always have more sediment than extract brews just because we're using so much grain. So, and there are ways to get around that. If you just don't like sediment in your beer, it just really bothers you, let this brew for a week. Do exactly what I'm doing here, but instead of putting it into a bucket, put it into another carboy. And that's called racking. And then when you're ready to beer, rack it out like this too. So you would rack it twice instead of just once like I'm doing. That will give you a... looks like I'm just sediment now. That will give you much less sediment in your beer. There's also other tricks and tips you can find on YouTube of when you make it originally. It's a little more expensive. Basically what the idea is you'd have a bucket like this, but it'd have a valve in it, like right down here, that you could open. And what you do is when you boiled your grains, you'd let them boil and everything, and when you're going to dump them off, I think you let out all of the water, and then you siphon the water back in here, and what it does is create a filter bed where you've got a little water under a bed of grain. So you filter like all the water out and slowly put it back in. Then with your sparge water, instead of just pouring it in, you slowly drizzle it over, keeping exactly 1 full inch above the level of the grain the whole time, and that's supposed to create a filter bed and filter some of the grains out. That is a lot of extra work and a lot of special equipment for me. I just think it's too much, so I don't do it. Something I do... Ew. Oh, now this is the thing I always mess up on. I was about to add my sugar, right? I can't do that until I take my gravity reading. Because remember last time we used our hydrometer, which I have misplaced. Remember last time we used our hydrometer to take an original gravity reading. Well, that's great. But that reading's not going to tell us anything unless we take another gravity reading, a final gravity reading. Then we just kind of subtract the 2 out. I need something that I sanitized. Oh, I sanitized this cup thing earlier. Alright, I haven't sanitized my hydrometer because I forgot. I know, it's bad. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the cup that I have sanitized to pour the beer in the test tube. Then I'm going to pour the rest in because it was in a sanitized cup. Then I'm going to take my reading and throw this out. Rather be safe than sorry. Mm-hmm. Alright. Woo! It's raining beer. Wouldn't it be cool if it really rained beer? Alright, now I explained this scale to you, and I'm using the, what's it called? Potential alcohol by volume scale. And that is coming to, looks like about 1.5. I think 1. Here's a neat thing to do. Try this. It's really gross, so it amazes you how much better it gets after it's carbonated. Actually, that's not as gross as some of them. Now, what do I do next, people? This is like your quiz, which isn't graded. So you could just slack off and not take it.
Everything's fine.
Ghosts. What you do next is you write down your final specific gravity. I said it was 1. That means my alcohol by volume. I took my original specific gravity as 7 on the scale I told you about. The final specific gravity as 1. 7 minus 1 is 6. So this beer is 6% by volume. Weaker than most of my beers, but still good enough. Alright, so I've got all my readings. Remember my sugar water? Pour it in there. And then what I like to do, since I got this cup, pour a little bit back in just to rinse any extra sugar. Make sure I get the full 3/4 cups in there. Stir it up with my spoon. Do make sure you stir it well, or you will have more sugar in some bottles than others. Another thing, when I first did this, I have heard that you're supposed to put like a teaspoon of sugar in each bottle. Some people will tell you to do that, and that is a way a lot of people have and still do it. It's not as good though, because this makes sure that each bottle will have uniform carbonation. So each bottle will be the same. Wouldn't it be funny if you never hit record with that?
I did.
Good, because it wouldn't really be funny. Alright. Now, lift that up so gravity works in my favor. I like this chair.
You want me to go get a different chair?
Yeah. Well, in a minute, but not right now. Alright, that's stirred up enough. Alright, now the reason I use that, again, these bottles have been sanitized. Look how easy this is. I just put the bottle under the spout, turn the spout until the bottle is full. And don't worry, I'll tell you what I mean by full. I mean empty, because it's opposite day. Okay, I totally made that up. And it wasn't funny. Alright. If you can get the light, you can see where that is. Almost to the very top. Here's another trick if you're curious. Go to the store, buy a beer, look how full they fill it. You know, it's going to be about the same on a store-bought beer. I haven't had this, I don't know if it's good. It's going to be about the same on a store-bought beer as on a homebrew. Not really a big deal. Don't fill it all the way to the top, or there will be no room for air, so carbonation can't happen. Don't fill it too low, or there'll be too much room and you can actually get it to where you have a chance that it'll explode. What I actually do is I check my last homebrew, I was like, okay, it's right there. I just compare that to my current homebrew. So, okay, it's there. It looks like I...
A little too full.
A little too full. Maybe like that?
Yeah, that's good.
So right like that. This is really kind of a guessing game, and as long as you're close to this, it doesn't matter. Alright, I take a sanitized cap, put it on top of my bottle like so. I go to the brew store and buy what is called a capper.
Easy cap.
It's $15 or so. I have 2 of these because I bought one and I didn't like it. We're going to find out if this is the one I don't like. Alright, so I just set the capper on top of the bottle, on top of the cap. Pull. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Now, this is kind of neat. It's got a magnet on top, so if you lift it, the cap stays there. Pretty cool. Anyway, set it back on. Pull the handles. The handles grab the neck. You push down. Back up.
Ta-da!
There you go. Capped. Pretty easy. Then I will get a permanent marker, and I'll put some sort of identifying mark on this.
50 cent.
I call this my 50-cent Irish Red because each bottle, when you calculate it, just the raw ingredients, each bottle costs 50 cents to make, which is pretty good. So I'm going to put a cent sign. That's what I'm going to put. Whatever. Let you recognize it. And that's really all there is to it. In 2 weeks, the yeast should have done its trick, and I will open this and taste it. And there's actually a judging procedure, which one of these shows is actually going to go over. But that's about it. What's my time right now?
20 minutes.
Oh, well, it's longer than I thought. Anyway, thanks for sitting through, because I'm sure this is going to be 2 episodes now. And just to let you know, we are going to continue doing this show with different topics about equipment, judging, what we think of beer, and it's kind of going to go all over the place. So feel free to keep watching, and I will have one more all the way through, step-by-step guide when I show you how to make my personal favorite Irish Stout. But I'm going to put some new, different type of episodes in there before I get to that. So I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.